Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Settlement Strategy playing Catan with Iswan. So what I'm going to do in this video is analyze a board that I recently played on colonist.io and find out what the best initial settlement strategies are. The reason that I chose this game in particular is because I think looking at the settlements that were taken in this game, they initially seemed okay, but with a little bit of analysis we can tell that they actually weren't that great and they allowed one player to really run away with the game. So let's get into this. So the first thing that I want to think about when choosing a settlement position in Catan is, what is your win condition? That is, how are you going to win the game? How are you going to get those 10 points? Are you going to get largest army, longest road, how many settlements, how many cities? You pretty much need to either take longest road or largest army. Something like 15% of games are won without taking those. So, you're going to have to take one of those pretty much if you want to have a good chance of winning the game. So initially what I like to do is identify all of the high production and high value spots. So a high production spot is a intersection point that has going to have a lot of production for you. So an 8 and a 6 is worth 5 points, a 9 and a 5 is worth 4 points, 10 and 4 worth 3 points, 11 and 3, 2 points, 12 and 2, 1 point. So we can see on this board there's actually quite a lot of high production spots. Also, what you want to look for is what I like to call a high value spot. And a high value spot has high ore and high wheat. Those are the two most important resources in the game, in my opinion, and they're the spots you want to be gunning for first off, because that's what's going to build your cities, and cities get more production. So looking at blue in the first position, taking this into account, there's two spots that jump out at me, especially on this very low ore board. It's going to be really important to get ore, so as first and second position, you're going to be wanting to jump on those limited ore spots. So the 843 ore wheat sheep and the 3116 double ore wheat are the spots that jump out at me. For blue, I think the right decision here is to go for the 843 ore wheat sheep and point the road towards the ore. The reason I think this is because as first position, you have to wait another 7 picks until you get your next pick, or 6 picks. And that can take a lot of good spots out of the game. So I like going for the 843 here because it's going to be strong development card potential, strong largest army potential, and I think that if you choose the 6311, you might miss out on sheep, considering that the 843 is definitely going to get taken, the 5810 up the top is definitely going to get taken, and those two sheep down the bottom are in the middle of the board. That's not good for a player going for largest army. A player going for largest army is not going to build many roads, and getting stuck in the middle of the board is a good way to lose as the largest army player. So saying that, I also think that blue pointing their road towards that 11 ore is the best idea. I think that the player who's going to take 6-3-11, most likely green in second position, isn't going to be confident to try and cut you off because they're also going to be going for largest army. So I think it's pretty safe for blue to point that way and kind of scare the 6-3-11 player away from pointing their road up. So saying that, I think green in second position should take the 6-3-11 double ore wheat. And the reason I think this, as I said, it's going to be a really strong city building potential. And then when you do get a city on that double ore wheat spot, it's just going to make building cities even easier. It's a really strong city spot right there. Pointing your road towards the coast, because as I said, it's really hard for players going for largest army and development card style game to get roads. So we have to point it to somewhere where they're going to be able to build a settlement. So now it comes to red in third position. So seeing two players ahead of me go for a largest army style setup, I'm thinking for red that you probably want to go for a longest road setup. Longest road generally needs lots of production, and the highest production spot on the board is the 659 wheat, sheep, wood, and that's where I'm going to choose for red. The other reason I think that this is a good spot for red is that there's two really good brick spots. The 6 and the 8 brick are going to pair really nicely with that 9 wood and make really good road building potential. And most likely one of them will be free after black chooses their spot. The other reason I really like this spot is that you can go for the wood port there. It's really important as a road player who might miss out on ore, is you have to somehow get ore to make cities, and that wood port down the bottom is going to be really good for converting the lots of wood that you have into ore to eventually get your cities. So I hear some people could be saying that it's you do run the risk of being cut off when black takes the 5, 8, 10 as their second position and gets a free road. I would counter this by saying a really good sixth position for red, so red's second settlement will be the 2, 9, 6 right here as their second position, which will also give them a free road, and their turn will come before black, which means they'll be able to cut them off to the wood port. And so for that reason, red can place with confidence that they're going to get to the wood port. So saying that, I think that it makes it pretty obvious that black is also going to go for a longest road type game, and so therefore wants to be placing on the high production spots. There's 2 high production spots that I have in mind, and that is the 5, 8, 10 brick, wood, sheep, and the 5, 8, 10 sheep, wheat, wood. The reason I like these positions is because it has a lot of brick, a lot of wood, a lot of sheep, and a lot of wheat. And it's got that sheep port down the bottom, which can be used for making ore. Some people will say that going on the 5, 8, 10 twice is a bad idea because it's either going to be a feast or famine. So if 5, 8s, and 10s are rolling good, you're going to have a great game. But if they don't roll at all, you're going to have a bad game. I personally don't mind this strategy because no matter what you pick, your numbers have to roll in Catan. It is a game of luck. So I think that you want to give yourself the best chance of your numbers rolling, and then, if those 5, 8s, and 10s are hitting, you're going to have a really strong game. But if they don't, it's just bad luck. I play Catan to win. I don't really care about coming second, third, or fourth, so I would rather try and come first than, maybe come second. So next, as red, we're going to go and put, as we said, our settlement on the 629, getting us the free road, which will allow us to get to that wood port, and point our road up to the wheat port. So as red, we have a really strong setup here. We're going to have 2 ports with lots of production and port fuel. So, that's going to be a really strong game for red. So now we move on to green's second settlement. So green has to go for some sheep here if they want to fulfill their win condition of largest army, as they already have high ore and high wheat. So there's really only one spot left on the board to get some sheep, and that is on the 483 or the 643 sheep, brick, wheat. So both of these spots would be acceptable. It's also going to be really good having that amount of brick because it's going to help green to build settlements and roads quite easily, which is generally hard for a largest army player or a development card type player. So getting on that brick is going to be good trading material to trade for hopefully some wood, and then they can build probably a few more settlements than blue will be able to build. So getting on to blue now, there's really only one spot I think is good for blue, and that is to go on the 10, 9, 11 wood, wheat, ore. This spot's going to give more wheat, more ore, and a little bit of wood to help road building and settlements so that blue can get onto that 411 ore sheep spot. So I'm going to go through each player and essentially what they need to be doing for their win condition. Blue is going for largest army, probably have to build 3 cities and get 2 VP cards as dev cards. And their first kind of port of call is going to be getting to that 411 sheep ore spot right here. For green's probably going to be able to build 2 settlements in this position. They're going to be able to build here on the 11, 12, and probably here on the 3 for 1 port. And they're also going to be going for largest army, 3 or 4 cities, and maybe a victory point if they need it. Looking at red, what they're going to need to do is get to that wood port first of all, and then get to that wheat port, and then start building cities, and then probably go for longest road. There's a lot of room over this side of the board for red to start building long roads. Looking at black really needs to get on that sheep port really quickly so green doesn't sneak in there. And then I would say what black would be doing would be trying to build settlements and cities, and then maybe try and build around this way or that way to get longest road. It's going to be a good battle between red and black for longest road, and a good battle between green and blue for largest army in this game. So this is what actually happens in the game. Blue takes the first pick and takes the 8-4-3 as I suggested and points their road towards the coast. Green then takes the 6-9-4 brick, wheat, sheep and points towards the coast. I don't really agree with this as it's probably going to leave them without ore, which is going to make it hard for green to win the game. Red chooses to go on the 5-6-11 ore, wheat, sheep, which I like as a pick. It's a good development card, largest army strategy, but then this leaves me as black with 2 monster positions, the 6-3-11 double ore wheat and the 5-8-10 sheep, brick and wood. It's the highest production spot on the board, matched with the highest ore wheat on the board. I'm going to point the road up, try to get on the 4-11 and then take the free road from the 5-8-10. I really think that this is a really strong setup, that if green had have taken the 6-3-11, then it wouldn't have allowed me to take this spot. Red then goes and takes the 5-8-10 up the top, I believe. It gives them a good wheat and sheep setup with a little bit of ore and a little bit of wood. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to lose the battle for largest army with me because I'm getting twice the amount of ore that they get. And even more if I get on the 11 ore again, and they're not going to take longest road because they don't have any brick. So green in this position is going to take the 10-3-11 double ore wood. I really like this spot from green. They got lucky and got a really nice ore spot on this board. And because of their placement and on the wood and the brick, they're probably going to go uncontested for longest road. So green gets lucky in this position. And then blue just jumps on the 9-10 wood on the wood port. I don't like this at all. I think what blue needs to do here is realize that I'm in a really strong position and take the 6-12-9 wheat, brick, wood, getting themselves a free road and cutting me off to the 4-11, and then pointing their road towards the coast, and then getting on the wood port and then on the 3-for-1 port, which I actually think would be quite a strong game for blue. They could compete with me for largest army, but they don't. So this is what actually ends up happening at the end of this game. I have a really big last turn where I go from 6 points to 10 points by getting a Nice 2-ore there. An absolutely bloated hand, which allows me to build a city. Then I think here I'm just thinking about what I'm doing, making sure it works. Build a settlement, and then use my road building card to take longest road, so I don't even end up taking largest army in this game. Pretty easy win there in 48 turns. So thanks for watching. I'd like to know what you think about my settlement analysis. If you disagree with any of my decisions, I'd love to know in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I'll probably be uploading this full video as a Let's Play soon. Thanks.